watching KRCR News Channel 7. At 5, get the facts right.
Two developing stories in Shasta County for you tonight. Dozens more people living near a home west of Redding filled with explosives told they need to get out. While across town, a water main bursts, spilling close to 2 million gallons of water into streets, homes, and apartments. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this very busy night. I'm Jennifer Scarborough.
I'm Mike Mangus. We've been at both places since the early morning hours. At Chaparral Drive off Placer Road, dozens more people who live there agreed to get out. Others said, no, I'm staying. Coming right up, KRCR News Channel 7's Shay Arthur will bring us a report on the new and expanded evacuations.
Then Evan Schreiber joining us live with some startling numbers about the damage caused by this. The broken city water main at the intersections of Shasta and Magnolia. You might be surprised at how long is going to be needed to fix this problem.
But we start on Chaparral Drive, where work has started to burn a home authorities have been calling dangerous and volatile. The home is just west of Redding, not far from Placer Road. The evacuation zone was doubled today to all homes within 2,000 feet of the home. That's about 60 houses.
The sheriff announcing yesterday that the more than 60 pounds of explosives material in that home are simply too dangerous to handle. Burning down the house is the only safe way to go. This all started when the man who lived there, this man, 64-year-old D. Ray East, blew his hand nearly off more than a week ago. Now, KRCR News Channel 7's Shay Arthur was out in that Chaparral area this morning as more folks were told to leave their homes behind. Shay, it just keeps getting more and more difficult for these people.
Now, that's right, Jennifer. People were told to pack up and get out. Some, they didn't leave. But with everyone waiting with little idea about when this will all be over. It's 8 a.m. and the close signs are up. If you live within the evacuation zone on Chaparral Drive and leave, you're not coming back until law enforcement gives the go-ahead.
Sucks.
Megan Marquez and her family were among those leaving this morning. They packed a full load.
Clothes, blankets, pillows, jewelry that I can't replace, toys for the kids, just things like your paperwork, birth certificates.
Just one house separates hers and the evacuation cutoff. You guys consider not leaving?
Well, we have 2 kids now. If it did go like really big and then a fire.
But there are some who are staying put.
I'm not leaving, no. I don't agree with what they're doing.
Why?
I don't feel it's that dangerous. If the gentleman was more than willing to help them, he could help them take the stuff out of the place.
Joe Malenik lives with his 92-year-old friend who's on oxygen. He has dogs and goats to take care of. He's not going anywhere. I caught David McKay as he was heading to go stay on his property in Red Bluff. He's not surprised by the evacuation.
They made it pretty clear that at some point they were going to move the line out.
Are you worried about your house or anything?
Nah.
Others agree.
The good Lord's got his hand on us, and he'll watch.
And while Malenik is confident in his plan,
I'll be here. I'll wait.
Some are still figuring it out. So where do you go from here, Megan?
To the shelter to see what they have planned on if we're staying there or find a motel.
Do you have the money for that?
No, not really. You got to play it by ear.
Well, people were told to gather enough of their belongings to last up to 5 days. Animal regulation was also there assisting with those animals that needed to be picked up. Shay Arthur, KRCR News Channel 7.
All right, thank you for that, Shay. Our team coverage isn't over yet. We are working around the clock to bring you every angle on this local emergency. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to look at how the weather will play a big role in the decision about when to burn that home. And KRCR News Channel 7's Kate Hackett explores the legalities here. How can the Shasta County Sheriff's Department make the decision to burn private property when no one has been charged with a crime? She'll tell you what the sheriff says about that. And then at 6:30, she talks to D. Ray East's attorney, who says even though Mr. East could, he won't put up a fight to save his house. Also at 6:30, ABC's Nick Monticelli will be live with an up-to-the-minute report from a community meeting at the evacuation center where the people most deeply affected will get a chance to ask officials questions.
To our other top story now, a broken water main near downtown Redding happened just before 6 this morning on Magnolia Avenue at Shasta Street. Almost 2 million gallons of water flooding homes and streets. That's where KRCR News Channel 7's Evan Schreiber is tonight. City employees working into the night to get it fixed. He's got more on what happened. Evan.
Mike, a mess is what happened here. A transmission main, the water main blew just before 6 this morning, right here at this intersection, Shasta Street and Magnolia Avenue. Crews, as you see, still working on things. They brought out the big guns, so to speak. Now, I want to show you what they were dealing with. Right now, you see over here, this is actually a vacuum machine. This one is sucking up water and debris. They actually had to tear up the whole intersection. These apartment complexes over here flooded. Now, at this time, just after 5, this is what you're seeing, but we want to show you exactly what we saw this morning. Take a look for yourself. What a scene it was. This was at about 6:30. Public Works told me the 18-inch main blew up right here at Magnolia Avenue and Shasta Street. This pipe is used to send water from one part of the city to another. About 4 blocks of the residential area were without water service. Electricity was shut off as well. As we mentioned, 1.5 million to 2 million gallons of water were lost. That's roughly 2.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth. I actually talked to Public Works this morning about how this happened.
This isn't uncommon when the weather finally turns wet because the ground gets saturated, and it's any weak points and whatnot you've got out in your system are allowed to move because the ground's a little bit softer.
But is this just normal wear and tear with a worst-case scenario of it flooding as much as it did?
This is the result of aging infrastructure, and this is a significant. This is a problem. This one's a bad break.
And you see it here. This was what they were doing roughly 6 hours later. Cleanup continued. As we mentioned, they had to use a vacuum truck to get all the debris out. McLean says now they do have programs where they spend about $1 million to clean up these issues and replace the infrastructure in the downtown area and surrounding area. But he said, unfortunately, they can't catch all of them before they end up breaking. What we do know is that there was significant flooding, as we mentioned, to several apartment complexes. This one took significant damage. Residents, at last count, we had 11 people were displaced. What we do know, water was restored to the area around 2 hours ago, about 3 o'clock. Water was restored to the area. What we do know is this street is expected to be reopened around 6, so that's just about an hour from now. We'll continue coverage throughout the night, so stay with us here on KRCR. Reporting live from Reading, Evan Schreiber, KRCR News Channel 7.
Thank you, Evan. Those water pipes through downtown Reading, very old, very brittle. And we are not done yet, not by a long shot. Coming up at 5:30, we'll go back to Evan. He's getting the facts on how much this break could cost the city, and
I looked at the floor, got the light on, and I saw this huge puddle heading towards my chair.
And at 6:30 tonight, KRCR News Channel 7's Shay Arthur talked with a woman who was evacuated with barely any notice. Her story tonight on KRCR News Channel 7 at 6:30. There's more on all our stories tonight on KRCRTV.com. These clouds are going to be sticking around, but we shouldn't see any rain really until about tomorrow night.
Yeah, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger is always tracking the winter weather for you. He's live in the high-definition First Alert Weather Center. Mike?
Yeah, Mother Nature definitely teasing a lot of us here this afternoon. We saw the overcast skies, especially, say, Red Bluff northward. You head south of that, actually just mainly in the form of some high clouds, and that's why we did see some warmer temperatures for the southern end of the valley. But take a look at First Alert Storm Tracker 7. There you can see the activity mainly up to our north, and that activity is pretty much going to stay there as we go into the next 24 hours. So it's continuing to move itself off to the north and east. It's trying to shift southward. As it does, we may see a few sprinkles or light showers in the Reading area late tonight, but don't count on much, if anything. One other thing that we're watching here very closely is the winds. In fact, they're going to be very strong, even for the valley, but there's a high wind warning for all the areas in purple here. That's from Modoc County, Lassen, and not to mention Plumas County, and also on I-5 there in central Siskiyou County. This is from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning until 4 a.m. Sunday morning. Gusts 60, 70, even close to 80 miles per hour. That 80-mile-an-hour range is probably closer to some of the highest mountain ridges. Where you see blue is where there's a wind advisory. That's from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. tomorrow, mainly along the coast and off into Modoc County as well. Gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So there you can see a low risk for severe weather on Saturday, of course, minus the showers for the second half of the day and the windy conditions. And then no risk by Sunday and Monday before we see another shot for some showers here by Tuesday of next week. So we'll take a closer look at when we expect the rain to arrive. It should be here sometime around tomorrow. Details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks a lot, Mike. The President of the United States is in California tonight.
Yeah, Fresno, in fact, and he's here for a very important reason. Our historic drought. In fact, there's a live picture right now of the President at his meeting with farmers in the Central Valley. We'll tell you about the proposal he is making and how he believes it could help farmers all across the state.
And the Salvation Army in Reading is trying to make sure veterans are not being left out on Valentine's Day. That's a little later on KRCR News Channel 7 at 5.